It's another wild day in the world of Magic the Gathering. 2024 is going to be the most expensive year ever for the game. We have major price increases coming across multiple products. And on top of that, Wizards of the Coast has introduced a brand new timeless format to Arena that brings the concept of restricted cards back to Magic the Gathering.
Magic. History. I'm an old wizard. The magic historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles, my friends. I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for another installment of Mega Magic News. And this time we're going to be talking about Mega Magic costs because we are on the cusp of a major price increase for Magic the Gathering. What's going on is happening on multiple levels. The biggest shift is the fact that Wizards is fundamentally changing their product structure. For the longest time, all we ever really had in Magic was draft boosters. And then a few years ago, Wizards went, draft boosters? Psh, forget about that nonsense. Yeah, they're good and everything, but check out these set boosters. And look at these collector boosters, right? So then all of a sudden, we've got like all these different beasts roaming around in the wild because Wizards thought they could have everything. But the truth is that draft boosters and set boosters cannot peacefully coexist. And so stores had to make a choice, one or the other. And let's be real, Wizards stacked the deck in favor of the set boosters very, very much. They basically manipulated the situation and went, oh, it's weird. We don't have any draft boxes to sell you right now, but we definitely have tons of set boxes. So they basically were able to push the price of Magic up essentially by just bringing the set boosters in and having most people ignoring draft boxes. But the problem they found was, wait a minute. Draft boxes actually make us a bunch of money. People who stick around in Magic over the longer term, they actually end up playing a lot more limited. So we're losing a ton of money by people not buying these draft boxes. Plus, on top of that, we're making all these boxes that sit in the warehouses. So Wizards of the Coast has to come up with the Festival in a Box, which is definitely booster pack dump off in a box, right? So they turn around and go, okay, what do we do? Then they birth this new concept called play boosters, which kind of marries the concept of set boosters and draft boosters, so you can play limited with them, but you can also get that juicy, multi-rare, expensive, burst of adrenaline if you get the best pack with like 3 ultra rares or whatever, right? So they want both ends of the spectrum, but the problem is it comes at a big cost for us. So they're going to be pushing the price up now. So you got a set booster that has a few more cards in it, or a draft booster that has one less card, depending on how you're looking at it, but it's going to cost more than either of them. And then on top of that, what they're doing is they're going like the set boosters came in a 30-pack box, whereas draft boosters came in a 36-pack box. Another attempt to make them seem similar roughly in price, right? Wizards put 6 fewer packs in the one that cost more, and then, there's not that much of a gap, so why wouldn't you buy set boosters? It really feels like they tried to completely wean us off of draft boosters without realizing, wait a minute, they serve a fundamental underlying purpose. So the play boosters come in and go, we're going to keep that Zazzle, the price goes up. The booster boxes now that they're making with the play boosters are going back to 36 packs. So we have a price increase over set boosters plus an additional 20% packs in the box. So even if stores were miraculously able to just absorb this additional cost themselves in terms of just the increased cost per booster, the box increase in price is going to be noticeable. And there are no more options now. Some stores still carry draft boxes, set boxes, and whatever. So you could come in, I don't want this, I want this. Some stores actually just carry draft boosters because it was easier for them, and some because it's like, hey, this is good for prize support. But across the board, this is going to cause issues for stores where they're going to turn around next month when you walk into the store, all of a sudden, why is Magic so much more expensive than it used to be? Why does it feel like booster boxes are going to jump like 20, 25% in price? You're going to walk in and be like, whoa, the prices keep going up, but this is a huge price increase. So when I've seen like multiple ones happening early in the year, just gonna be, yeah, but see, this box has 36 packs. Don't they all? Yeah, but no, see, these are play boosters. Oh, what's that like? And it's like, each pack can have multiple rares and it has like a foil and an art card and a list card. So there's set boosters, but you're just charging me way more now, right? What's going on? And no, Wizards changed everything. People don't think that. People blame it on the stores. They think the stores are greedy. There are literally people who go, yo, they'll see two different boxes at the store, and they'll think the store pays the exact same price for a set like Brothers War, which is a normal standard set, and a set like Commander Masters, which Wizards charges more to the distributors, and the distributors charge more to the store. That's why Commander Masters isn't $600 a box, because somebody at the store was like, well, I sell the other boxes for $200, but I think I can sell it for $400 more. There are some stores that do add on premiums based on what they think they can sell for more. That clearly happens, but I'm talking underneath about the situation where Wizards pushes this price increase out there. People aren't going to see it coming. And on top of that, it's not just the booster boxes, right? This affects the bundles as well. The bundles are being fundamentally changed. Remember, bundles used to be 10 booster packs. Then we're changing them to set boosters, and now we've got 8 boosters in there. And now they're going to 9 boosters. And the reason they're going to 9 boosters, as far as I'm concerned, is it's a tactic to hide the fact that there's a huge price increase with this. We're looking at 30 to 35% price increase on bundles, right? Like, so Wizards is turning around and going, oh, actually, no, it's got 9 boosters now. So if we change the makeup in it, like if you change the amount, then it changes what people think, where it's like, 10 boosters down to 8 set boosters, but set boosters, they're more juicy than draft boosters. So, okay. But then you move up to the play boosters and it's like, whoa, 9 all play boosters, but 30% more? You know what I mean? Some of the pre-order prices are already popping up out there, and they're absurd. And while there's nothing specifically pushing the price of collector booster boxes up in terms of they have new boosters in them, it seems like pre-order prices for these collector boosters are also being moved up, because the mentality is, well, if these two are like this, then this tier moving up is going to be natural as well. But there literally isn't even any added value. You can say, hey, going from like a draft booster to a play booster is added value. Obviously, going from a set booster to a play booster is going to be added value, although I think Wizards might have tweaked the rarity drops just a little bit. This is crazy, because not only is it having a big effect on the cost of the game, but the tweaks they're making are going to cause big changes to things like Pauper, for example. It's fundamentally changing the design of sets, because they have 20% fewer commons to operate with, which means the commons have to be like more impactful, right? That's the deal. So basically, you end up with a scenario where the prices are flowing through the roof. LGSs are going to have to basically turn around and explain all that, because they can't absorb it. Like a 5%, 10%, I watch this from the inside. You have to understand that I helped a dude run an LGS for a very long time. So I saw the changes in the way that Wizards operated towards the LGSs and how they just kind of got more and more squeezed, but he never wanted to push the prices up when his prices went up. So he kept absorbing these price increases and making less and less. And Wizards is just like, they're totally fine with just undercutting LGSs in terms of going, hey, we'll make a little announcement on the website, but we don't do MSRP anymore. We're going to let the distributors have at you. And at the same time, we're going to turn around and sell through Amazon, right? So you have a situation where they'll dump a bunch of stuff through Amazon, undercut prices, and it's just this ugly mess. So what happens is stores have a harder time determining what they're going to carry in stock. They go, okay, I don't want to be stuck with product that I can't use. What's really funny is watching people who don't know anything about LGSs talk to people who do run LGSs and go, look, man, why don't you just buy products you know are going to sell and not buy the ones that aren't going to sell? Like, you can know exactly how Magic product's going to sell. You can know exactly how many boxes are going to sell. Like, so these stores have to pull back more and more. And Wizards makes more and more of these products with higher and higher prices. And it just has a bang on effect. So this whole big jump up in price, Wizards of the Coast could easily give us this for the same price as a draft booster box. They can make 15 card packs for the same price, right? Booster packs of Magic don't cost a lot of money to make. It costs about $0.25 to make all the cards in there. Now, I do actually, to be fair, want to talk about one thing that has increased Wizards' actual costs. For fairness and balance here, in terms of art is a big cost for Magic the Gathering. And you've heard me say a lot of times that they pay $1,000 per piece of art. Well, Wizards of the Coast, actually, I don't know exactly when, but in recent times, they have shifted the pay structure for artists, and they've increased the pay by 25%. On top of that, Artists get additional pay when they do extended artwork cards, so the cards that are used for collector boosters. If you are doing artwork like that, you get additional pay. And there is a flagship style art that used to be Planeswalkers. Now, it's not clear exactly what it's going to be, but when they did Planeswalkers, there would be an additional fee added on. They'd get more money for the big, like, we're using this guy on the poster, like, face of the set style stuff. So, on one hand, that does genuinely increase the cost of making Magic the Gathering. Paying your artist 25% more means your art costs go up, and the art cost is a substantial part of Magic's cost. So I want you to understand that I'm not against Magic doing price increases, but the thing is, versus the production costs they've made, the increases that they've made, they're not parallel, and it really comes across as Hasbro leaning on Wizards of the Coast going, we're going to extract as much money as we can out of you, and you have to keep pushing. It doesn't matter how much damage you do to your brand. It doesn't matter how much damage you do to the game. You must continue to extract cash. So when we hit, like, there's a certain threshold where people just aren't going to buy. I don't know where it is, honestly, and I don't think we're there, but I don't like watching what's going on. Moving on, though, let's talk about the return of restricted cards to Magic the Gathering, because I have to be honest, I thought this is something that would never happen. Right? If you don't know, restricted cards are a concept from the very, very infancy of Magic. We're talking about like back when they birthed Type 2. That's what Standard used to be called. Man, we start to think like 30 years ago and I start to feel like a dinosaur, right? The phone was just jammed on the wall. You're just excited to have an answering machine. It's so different. It's such a different era. But anyways, how it worked back then was they would go, instead of banning cards that were too powerful, they'd be like, you can only use one copy of it. So you get to play with super powerful cards, but they don't always show up, which makes games more swingy and less stable. You know, a first turn Soul Ring means that you've got 4 mana on the second turn. You only get 1 of those in your deck, and back in the day that was restricted. But if you got it, you're basically like 2 turns ahead of your opponent, right, in terms of land drops. Not exactly, but that's fairly equivalent. So we had a bunch of different restricted cards, and they were cards that you're pretty much guaranteed to put in your deck. Wizards of the Coast went, okay, we messed up with Arena. And they have, guys. Like, Arena is getting really, really desperate. I've been getting emails from people going, yo, you know the bot drafting? Because you guys may remember, I was really into Arena. I even made videos explaining how to build your own free-to-play collection where you can build out a play set. You could get 4 of every rare from a set by free playing. It was absolutely possible on Arena in the past. But Wizards did all these little tweaks here and there and used to be able to build a collection through drafting. Now I'm getting reports that if you do bot drafting, the bots will keep virtually every rare, so you can't build your collection. It's not about them actually creating a proper draft environment for you anymore. It's about denying you resources. So Arena has been getting more and more desperate to the point where, if I'm not mistaken, they're actually doing a physical reward where they'll give you physical Magic packs for playing Arena, or they're buying something on there. I'm still looking into that one because, in all honesty, Arena is a fringe thing to me, and the more I think about it, the more frustrated I get, because Arena could have been something amazing. I was part of the open beta. I really enjoyed it, and I watched it fall apart as their greed and arrogance pushed them to offer less and less and try and extract more and more from us. But they're not willing to assign the programmers to make the software work. It's buggy. Arena's a really frustrating mess, and you have situations like, I was there before everything had even started to rotate out of Standard. So we were in Arena when everything was in Standard, and Wizards was fighting over not wanting to make a non-standard format. They wanted our cards to not be usable outside of it. So they grudgingly made the historic format and then turned around and went, you got to pay double wildcards for it. And just tried to charge us double, which nobody was going to go for. And so then historic got settled in and people are happy with it. But Wizards are like, okay, look, our plan to make Arena into Pro Magic failed. So Arena has to be like Hearthstone now, and we need to change cards, and we need a way to not give people wild cards. So they invented Alchemy as a format where it's like, we can fix any card, but they don't fix cards like Grinning Ignis, right? They just go ahead and ban them. They just ban cards in a format where they said they wouldn't ban things. It's really, we're not going to ban cards if we have to give you wild cards, but we will ban cards if it's like an uncommon, because we don't care, and we're not going to spend the time to program it and keep all the cards. Like, the whole format was a lie, essentially, and it made a bunch of people unhappy, and they left, and Wizards went, wait, we know you want a non-rotating format. How about we make Pioneer? Sure, it's going to take us 6 years to get it running, but, like, We promise we'll give you a non-rotating format. And like Arena's just been dragging its feet all along as Wizards tries all kinds of different things. So they tried these no ban formats where people can play whatever they want. And they erupted in degenerate decks. But more importantly, they erupted in a ton of people playing on Arena. So Wizards went, okay, we have to give them this. This is what's going to get people playing. So they're making the timeless format. This encompasses virtually everything on Arena, finally, because they literally, like, they're so greedy and arrogant that they make these, they're like, hey, check it out. We're bringing, like, Strixhaven into Arena, and you can pull every card from Strixhaven, but you can't use any of these cards. And it's like, what? Yeah, no, these aren't allowed in Historic and whatever. And it's like, so you're selling me cards I can't use. Yeah, you can use them in Direct Challenge. Direct Challenge has been broken for a month and a half, right? Like, it's this insane, like, we give you cards you can't use. So the timeless format actually answers that. It gives you a place to play all those cards. It also brings in the restricted concept, which means that if a card allows for insane combos and dumb nonsense, like you want to do your Tybalt's trickery silliness, where either you're done the first turn or I'm done the first turn, either way we're not really playing Magic. Well, you can only run one copy now, silly boy. That kind of thing. Where combos aren't completely removed. And every once in a while you're going to get that goober good hand where you're like, yeah, boy, and go and do your dumb nonsense. But it's not going to happen with the consistency where every game ends turn one. Because Arena is already prone to people. People will either forfeit instantly when they've lost a game, or they'll just turn around and be like this and just stand there. And it's like they're literally just trying to frustrate you into quitting so they can win fake gold from a computer. It's Arena turns your opponents into AIs and stuff. So I don't know, man. I still personally stay away from Arena. If it's your only way to access Magic, I get it. Like, that's cool. It's a free-to-play way. If you don't want to go and get physical Magic cards, as it's getting more and more expensive, I can't blame people for that either. So if it's your only way of enjoying Magic, cool. Knock yourself out, right? But between the absolute bugginess, like, bro, when I load in and they've just got this rotating, waiting to load screen, and they have these black screens that they put in between, and you can tell they just added extra seconds to it. Like, bro, I went to school for programming. I know what you're doing. They're not fixing any delays. They're just masking it with random transitions to make it seem like progress is being made. Literally enter into drafts, and it won't let me build a deck. It crashes the client on my brand new computer, right? Like, so it's, I don't know. Every time I talk about Arena, I end up getting into all these side rants. I originally just intended to talk about the timeless format, but couldn't help myself. So let's talk a bit about manor. Let's talk about the Karlov manor. We talked about the price increase. Let's talk a little bit about some of the fun stuff we're doing, and then I got something neat to show you for the end here, okay? So, Karlov Manor is going to be a mystery clue style set. And as a result, Wizards of the Coast has made a clue style story, but we're only getting like one chunk to start with. And it does read a little bit weird. Reading phrases like Aurelia walked up to the buffet is it's a bit strange to me, right? But either way, they've got a whole cast of characters there, including Kellen. Kellen's there. He's an investigator. Somebody tells him how to like do his investigation, and he's like, excuse me, I've been an investigator my whole life. And I just went, no, you haven't. When did you even get here? So like the story that I'm putting it together for Fantasy Geographic. So in the next 24 hours or so, there'll be a lore video out over on my Magic the Gathering lore channel covering all the different characters who are there and what's going on with them, because there's murder afoot, right? So they got that going on. But the mystery isn't just interlaced into the story itself. It's actually going to be in digital components online and physical components. So, for example, we've been shown a spin down die that's missing the number 16. What does it mean? Who knows? I think that's fun, right? Like, when it comes to puzzles, the right kind of puzzles are delightful. And ultimately, Magic the Gathering, to me, a game of Magic, a lot of the time, feels like an ever-shifting puzzle where you might not even have all the pieces to put it together, right? So I'm curious to see what they're going to do that way. There we go. That pulled me off my Arena rant. Now, I do want to show you the cool bonus card, the Command Tower from the Princess Bride Secret Lair. Look at this. This is an awesome execution that has a bunch of fun references. You have the marriage priest, right? You have Buddy waiting out front, the gigantic ogre. His name is eluding me right now. Feswick, something like that. I can't remember his name, but he's standing down at the bottom. I love him. I don't want you to be embarrassed. I love that dude, right? And then you got Humperdinck up on the top floor. You got the princess in there with Wesley, who's just been brought back by the magic meatball, laying in the bed. You got the Inigo Montoya. You killed my father, prepared to die. All of it on one card. This is awesome. The Princess's Bride Secret Lair is such a stellar execution of flavor, right? I love it. So that's what I wanted to end off with on a fun note. Thanks for coming by, my friends. I'll be live streaming tonight on my other channel. You're welcome to come by and say hello. Big thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel. And I will see you all, my friends, in the next video.